Anghells going up against AHJA. Julian, this is going to be quite the matchup. Both of these teams have only lost, or both of these teams, I think actually AHJA have incurred their only loss to one of the teams in their bracket, and so currently it's a clash of the Titans.
Absolutely, and you said it before. They only lost to GeForce, and guess who to whom Anghells lost? They lost to GeForce as well.
Also to GeForce.
Yeah. So this match, it's really do or die. It's whoever wins this one might have the chance for second place here. And so yeah, LeeJang starting us off here. You've been broadcasting a couple of matches over the last few days, basically. Oh, and maybe even today. I didn't really follow the action who casted, but what can we expect on LeeJang? What will we see from the teams?
Well, definitely in terms of looks from AHJA, we expect to see uninhibited aggression. From Anghells, what I'm really looking forward to are calculated responses to that aggression. AHJA, what was described by Hotdog and Septilence, Gig, this immovable object. Well, what you need to see some serious opposition in this matchup is an unstoppable force.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't know how AHJA lost to GeForce, because that roster is so stacked. We got Gig from Valiant, he's playing. Yeah, we got a pause here. We got some connection, some permissions trouble, and who sees what teams. Yeah, I mean, but definitely, AHJA is super stacked roster, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this match plays out, because we said before they both lost to GeForce, so GeForce can weigh itself in some safety, but not quite yet, maybe. And so LeeJang definitely going to be the first map we're starting, and we might even see the classic teleporter onto point move here. The meta differs a lot between EU and NA. We've got the classic solo DPS does all the different moves, and we'll see AHJA starting off with the Doomfist here, while Anghells has decided to go with the main.
Yeah, but you gotta watch out. Those dual teleporters are already up, and a Mei wall is going to occlude AHJA's progress on this objective. It's not gonna block off vision from already doing immense amounts of damage, and look at that first blood already shed on the side of AHJA. They're gonna get a quick capture of this objective, and also buy some time for them to push up and occupy the space that Anghells are going to want to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. They did quick work of Anghells there. They have been shredded into pieces, and yeah, you said it before. Once that symmetric charger is up, it's doing hell of a damage, and that's just what happened to Anghells here. So they lose the first fight, and first percentage game goes to AHJA. But oh yeah, Pure Irish taking down the Doomfist off. Oh yeah, this is the chance to engage with them now.
That's a great pick right off the bat. It means that Anghells are going to be able to play a little bit closer together, already dealing tons of damage onto Gig. It elicits the immortality field from Rupal as well. Vision is out of the lineup. That's AHJA's worst nightmare. And now it's just going to be Gig free swinging on the objective, understanding that they're in a potentially losable situation here. Anghells losing members of their own, however. Look at GTX on the off angle, picking up a couple of final blows, and Pure Irish, they're going to touch the objective, gets connected to that sound barrier deployed by the Anghells. Investments have been made, but it doesn't get the payoff that they're quite looking for.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see what kind of difference maker Gig has just been in that fight with Doomfist, with the right hand swinging in there and basically getting all the picks AHJA needed to hold that point. Anghells, they didn't even get the chance to flip the point there. So yeah, further percentages going the way of AHJA, and we see a lot of alt banks up on both fights. AHJA having 6 alts almost ready to go for this next fight.
Yeah, a whole deluge of ultimates here from AHJA, starting off with the Photon Barrier. It's going to help AHJA weather the storm here from the Anghells. It's going to be quickly dissipated. However, you saw Apple's Amplification Matrix used to dismantle that wall on the point. It's a delayed engagement here. Anghells want to figure out how they're going to approach, especially without that Baptiste, and that's Gig's opportunity to push in. There's the DPS capitalizing on the space, the blue deployed in a last-ditch effort to see if there's a swing potential in this fight. And look at that, Gig going down to the remake. that kill. You'll love to see it if you play D.Va. With a couple of more picks rolling in, Anghells might be able to get some agency here on the objective, but there's still some more bodies to fight through. Liar is on the objective. It's going to keep Vision and GTX up. GTX with their own dose of lethality to offer into this potential last fight. Look at that, the overtime wick is burning away, and there's no opposition from Anghells.
Yeah, absolutely clean swipe there for AHJA. And I mean, you see, Gig has just been so good. They need to find creative ways to kill him. So the only way to kill a Gig is basically do the Mecha Remac there. And that's the only time Gig actually fell in that match. And you just see the overwhelming power, which AHJA with those Redbirds players is bringing into this matchup. And yeah, this is the way we expected this to go for now. But let's see if Anghells can do a difference here in Gardens.
Well, you know, I like Lijiang Tower because it's a great control point map. It's a really good opportunity for both of these teams to really size each other up, and you know, it's not always down to the compositional differences here. It's down to who runs what their the style that they're playing a little bit better. And there's the teleports coming up on both sides. AHJA buys themselves a little bit of space with that Mei wall. Anghells were unable to use their own teleporter, so they're taking this arrowing walk across the bridge. And why, that's terrifying! Liar picks up 3!
What an incredible use of the ability there. This Lucio is going mayhem all over Anghells. They've just been resetted in the worst way thinkable on this map. Booped off the Lucio there. And again, first percentage point go the way of AHJA.
And that's the kind of aggro support gameplay that we expect from AHJA, enabled by the rest of their team. And now the Anghells, they have to question, you know, how do they set each themselves up for this next fight? Already breaking out on the objective. Another environmental elimination for Liar. That's 4 now just this round. Timo looking to make a play, goes for the pin. It's going to fall critically low and out of the fight as well. Quick resolution here established for AHJA.
This is terrifyingly one-sided at the moment. I'm going to be fully honest with you. The way that AHJA is performing on this map is just it's taking me away. Not gonna lie, like there's no answer to it from Anghells' side at the moment. They need to find a way to break through that Mei is a Meta way here, because currently it's not really looking good for Anghells.
Yeah, it's also, again, it's the support gameplay. RuPaul and Liar are absolute beasts, and, you know, it's just part of the nature of this map. You don't get to see quite as much from Gig as you would like, but here's the opportunity to shine the presence of an amplification matrix. The Anghells have to find a way to navigate around that. For now, it's a total disengagement. Liar microwave just a little bit there, able to inch out of that, and there's the rotation. Amplification matrix totally blocked off there by a well-placed Mei wall from J-Mars, who does have a Blizzard walked out. Pure Irish, there's a lot to mitigate here, and as the photon barrier comes up, there's mitigation on the side of AHJA. Blizzard deployed by Pack. It might swing this fight here, but the wall is going to buy a little bit more time for AHJA to see if they can stabilize. You do have Liar sound barrier online as well. Dual self-destructs on the objective. Which one gets value? None of them for now, but GTX doesn't need the self-destruct to find the final blows. Another stabilization here for AHJA.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the value that Jamas is bringing on that Mei here, as we see the last engage of Anghells now coming in to trying to make something of this. They get the first pick here. Timo takes down the Mei of AHJA, but is this going to be enough for them? As we see the chatter coming in. Oh, double environmental kill again on the other side. Dong taking down Lucian, the D.Va of AHJA. This is chance. It's the first time that we see Anghells getting some percentages on this objective.
Yeah, and it's a welcome change as well to see Anghells really taking a fight on their terms as opposed to playing into the expectations that AHJA sets there. That's what I wanted to see from the Anghells, is just the opportunities for the supports in particular to play as aggressively as they'd like, help to match the violence that AHJA is capable of dishing out. There's a quick teleport leading into a quick fight. Gig drops the shatter, slams down 3, and Avo is out. That's half of your damage dispatch, but Pack is still in the lineup, leading up towards that Meteor Strike, an elimination from Dong Poon, who's picked up 3 now in terms of environmental kills. But the fight is still raging on. Photon Barrett coming up on the objective, but the damage has to be done now by the remaining forces of AHJA, fighting to regain control of this objective and call it a map win here on Lijiang Tower. Watch out though, that Sim gun is really high charged. There's 2 picks here for Anghells. They're going to be able to stabilize off this.
Yeah, they look like different changed there. Totally different like way to approach this, but now it could actually be over already as AHJA is taking over some control here on this open space before the point, but it seems like Anghells are able to stabilize off this, although Pure Irish has to say goodbye for now and will be resetted into the spawn. Now fight on the point again as it's going to the way of AHJA. Doomfist taking down Timo here, Reinhardt out of the play, and this looks like it could already be over for Anghells here as they go into last fight territory for themselves. But yeah, AHJA doing switch here, overtime is ticking down. No chance for the D.Va to touch here, and it's going to be AHJA taking Legion Tower.
In decisive fashion as well. We really did not see any moment really where AHJA was down in these fights. There were brief lapses there where maybe they were contending in a fight. Oh, that triple, that's beautiful. Look at the rollout as well. We've seen a couple of brief moments there where AHJA, is maybe suffering a loss of manpower in some of these fights, but they're still able to come back from it. That's the beauty for me of AHJA. Is just they don't need everyone engaged at all times in order to accumulate team fight wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing which surprised me the most potentially is the fact that even when Anghells were in control of the objective, they didn't really seem like they had a proper plan, something to come up against AHJA. Although they were in control, it didn't seem like they had control over what they were doing, really. This match has just been in AHJA's hands all day long, basically. And it's been a super quick map one, and I'm really looking forward to see what is going to be the map pick of Anghells, because they need to find an answer to this. And currently, I don't see them having one at hand.
Well, we got to see in AHJA's previous series that they played Havana. I think that if Anghells end up picking that escort map, I think that they might be playing into a slight disadvantage. You really want every little ounce of license that you can get in this matchup. You're really playing against some tough opposition here. So for Anghells, I'd love to see them take us to Route 66 or Dorado. Anything that isn't Havana, where AHJA has free reign over that close hold.
Absolutely, and it's not going to be Route 66, but we're going down under. It's Junkertown for the next match, as we will go into the escort segment, which you just talked about. Let's run through what we will see on the attack here on Junkertown. What are the comps which are usually played on this map of Australia?
Double shield. Double shield is really all that I can expect. Although it is a little unconventional. You could get away with a brief close hold here on Junkertown. I really don't anticipate either of these teams trying that, though. Maybe an exercise in futility there. I won't complain if I get to see the horse in action. I love me some Marissa gameplay, boring as it might seem.
Yeah, what's been the only comp which ever worked for me in Junkertown?
What's that?
It's going to be something like Torbjorn, Bastion, Mercy, Baptiste, Reinhardt, basically. That's basically like whenever I play my gold games, it's usually that comp, and it either works or it doesn't. But most of the time when I play comp, we'll end up playing something like 4v5 because most of them just leave because of the Bastion or something. Well, I hope those players know better than I do, as we see Anghells attacking a double sniper and Orisa Sigma for them, as we see Donghun on the Brigitte probably here. Yeah, the double sniper setup seems to be matched.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the pain.
And not quite. After seeing so much Vision Symmetra today, I am pretty excited to see them on the sniper role. That Widow 1v1 is going to be opted totally out of. Oppo ends up going on to the Ashe instead. I like Pure Irish's pathing here, trying to take control of that high ground that Anghells would have to operate in, or I'm sorry, that AHJA would have to operate in. But AHJA, they're currently playing the safety of this building here.
Yeah, absolutely good way of playing around the natural cover there. Vision's got some free space that needs to find the right angle to approach this. Winston might be able to get some shots there. It's just a couple, but yeah, we see the Tracer in the backline already. Let's see how Anghells will be able to push that payload further than it currently is.
Oh wow! Look at J-Mars picking up one with a sonic arrow as well. Definitely under the influence of the Discord orbs, the tanks for Anghells are going to be feeling a lot of hurt, and it's a nice critical hit finish on the pack as well. Who's, by the way, being constantly marked by AHJA.
Absolutely, yeah, and James is just spawn holding them here with the hands. The arrows ready to hit some faces there. As we say, Anghells, the payload stop for now. Let's see if they can find another approach on how to move this payload into the first checkpoint.
Pack is going to have to play really smart here, really good blink management and knowing which targets to engage on, but there's so much distance to cross, and they've already lost that engagement against J-Mars. Avo and Apples caught out just a little bit, have to get topped off before re-engaging here, and these Sonics, these recons from J-Mars are just absolutely massive, and there you go. Pack is once again marked. All of AHJA knows that they're in the back lines, and they're not close enough to a pulse bomb to really justify going on to as many targets, but that's a nice pick to secure. Both of the supports gone now for AHJA. Pack is now free to engage upon Vision. Who wins this? It's going to be Pack every single time. And the card is going to be able to advance here, and possibly a first point cap as well.
Absolutely, a good play. A nice pull from Timo there on the Rissa, who makes sure that both both supports of AHJA are in the right position to be taken down by Pack and by Evo. And yeah, first point going the way of Anghells, but they're already getting picked off again here. They must take down Pure Irish. No off-tank for Anghells.
There's the Dragons thrown in as well. It doesn't lead to any lethal damage. The Immortality Field it prevents Apples from dying, at least for a little bit. They're eventually going to go down, however. Now it's only the Brigida remaining in the support lineup for Anghells, so this might delay their push a little bit and definitely fortifies AHJA's defense, but AHJA quickly loses two. J-Mars and Liar both going down. No Transcendence is going to be available here for the impending ultimates that Anghells want to use, so the Ant Matrix will buy AHJA a little bit more time.
Yeah, Vision though has a really good angle there. Make sure he doesn't get caught by the pull from the Orisa there. Good job by him there. So he's got 3 shots at the backline here, but he's got to be careful. Gets here the dynamite, so he might have to be a bit lower than he might have to pull his hat a bit low there. As we see Anghells trying to approach that high ground there, doesn't really stand a chance there against the Bonga of the Orisa. Off Gig here is doing a great job on the main position role till now.
Yeah, really interesting. Anghells are just kind of perpetually slowed down by the damage amp ults that are being utilized by AHJA. Now it's the rally coming in response to a Gravitic Flux. Rupel ends up collapsing in the chaos here as the mid-fight really breaks out. The Transcendence is going to find its commitment from Liar, and Apples is able to find that final blow onto J-Mars. That's a lot of damage gone for AHJA. Pack is a little bit more free to engage onto anyone they like, but it's really just card progress that they're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anghells actually got a really decent time here going into the third point of Junkie Time. It's like 4 minutes on the clock. Not something you see every day here. They got lots of time to make sure they bring that payload all the way till the third point.
It's absolutely what they need as well. After that, after the stop that was Lijiang Tower, there's some wind in their sails. A little bit of momentum to work with is going to be thwarted by an early pickoff onto Avo. Anghells are undaunted, however. They deploy the supercharger, but is quickly dispatched, and AHJA is quick to clean up.
Yeah, absolutely great combination play there from Gig and Vision, as they did a brilliant job combining their abilities there. Wonderful clean up from the defending team, as Anghells will have to take a different approach in this coming from this one.
And there's this next fight is really just going to be pretty dry here from both sides. It's going to be a battle really of the Ant Matrices here. Rupel's going to be coming up on that very shortly, and that could easily wear down this time bank, which has already been reduced from that 4 minutes to now 3. I think that the slow tentative engagements here for the Anghells, it's not a bad direction, but you definitely want to see them pick up the pace against AHJA.
Yeah, and they definitely need to if they want to stand a chance against this really solid defense. I really like the engage they're taking now, the double-sided, but still, AHJA is just tearing them into pieces as Jamal on the Genji is taking them down one by one. Another reset into the spawn. I really like that switch away from the double sniper to the Genji here on the side of AHJA. They're doing a great job of adapting to the pace which Anghells are bringing to this attack, and now it seems like they're stuck at this point where they need to move the payload away and right on track again onto third point.
Yeah, they're playing into some ultimates. Slight disadvantage here for the Anghells. Might be looking to start off this fight with Gravitic Flux, but you've got that blade online from J-Mars. It is going to be drawn from its sheath. Flux committed by Pure Irish, and Pack ends up securing J-Mars before they're able to find any lethal damage. There's a Flux from GTX. It does get Avo, and Superchargers are gone now for Gig. Still, AHJA's holding their own, and the rally is not going to prevent Donghun's death in this fight. We mentioned close holds once or twice leading into this map. This is a close hold right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anghells, they have to come up with something here. The time is running against them, and they lost half of the time by coming into this 4th point already. And now they need to find a way to entrance this point. They need to find a way to bring AHJA away from that. And Pack might just have the answer to it right here. He gets 2 kills, DPS line taken down off. Oh yeah, and he got the dragon now. That's a nice positioning. Maybe gets another pick off here. Yeah, Avo taking down RuPaul. That's the opening they needed, and this will bring the payload back into rolling progress.
Yeah, absolutely, and at a really good time as well, as the time bank bleeds away into that 1 minute left. Lyre's going to be coming up on the rally, but it's Vision's Bob that is going to be the point presence that the double shield comp for AHJA really needs to make sure that there's a serious delay on this payload. Buys GTX enough time to get up to that next Gravitic Flux as well. It looks like the Anghells set the pace for that first fight, but now they're going to have to play into the win conditions of AHJA. That's GTX on the high ground, is pushed back by Donghun. Bob on the high ground here is going to get that brig for the Anghells. Apples is still equipped with the Amp Matrix, though. They are going to deploy it in their position, help keep the rest of the attackers sustained on the point. But talking about sustain, it's Lyre's rally, keeping the defenses bolstered. Collective health pool steadily rising here for the defense. We're going to be whittled down by the Supercharger, but Pack strikes back. 2 critical hit finishes onto both DPS. That's a diff for sure.
Absolutely, and they actually get it in 16 seconds before the clock hits the overtime. What an amazing attack. Once they had the momentum back on their attack on the 3rd point, they just rushed through it, and you saw how much difference that one fight made. They already got like 3/4 of that progress on the 3rd point with just that one attack, and they just had to win that a bit longer fight in the end and end up getting 3 points on their attack.
The real question for the Anghells is, how much quicker is AHJA going to be able to capture those same 3 objectives? That answer may be not very quickly at all. For the Anghells, again, that slow, tempered pace in terms of the way that they were staged for those fights, it wasn't a bad direction, but they thrived whenever they were able to take those fights on their terms and really force AHJA into positions where they thought that they could ultimate or use their ults and get some value, and ultimately didn't accumulate to those consecutive fight wins that we got to see from them on Lijiang Tower. For the Anghells, they have to defend. Their defense has to be the cleanest Junkertown defense they've ever played.
Yeah, and I mean, if one team is up for that, it's Anghells, definitely, because they've got so much loaded talent, a lot of experience coming from the tank line, for example, team of Pure Irish. They've been in contenders with Old and Bold and then later Rebrand and Progress together for the last year, so they definitely can make this happen here, as we see the double sniper coming out on the side of AHJA again, while Anghells decided for the Tracer might be a bit more flexible in the defense. Let's see how this attack turns out.
It's just that poke war still. That shack is going to be the natural cover here that the Anghells really want to play in. It's good to play in that position. You want to force AHJA into off angles, looking to win DPS duels that then Avo or Pat can win or be enabled to succeed. GTX and Pure Irish are just locked in that 1v1, and for now it's just both teams really waiting for that opportunity to engage. With Teemo under the influence of the Discord orb, I was going to say that they have to back up, but they're going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. Teemo getting taken down here, but AVO is just winning the Widowmaker duel here against Vision, so this might be an opportunity to stop them a bit, but look how far the card has already gone. Lyre taking down AVO in the end, and that rotation that Anghells did here on the high ground has not been the cleverest one, because they've given so much space to AHJA. They've almost taken down the first point here, 2 minutes 50, but this might be the last shot for Anghells to take that control back here, as we see more of them falling piece by piece, and now 5 minutes 10 on the clock for AHJA as they take down first point.
It's a little bit of a reflection into the map on or the Lijiang Tower game there, where you see the Anghells are really investing, not just in terms of the amplification matrix, but also with Teemo onto the wrecking ball as opposed to mirroring that double shield lineup, and it just doesn't get the payoff that they want.
Absolutely, and we see that this card is it's simply not stopping. AHJA is making meter by meter basically. Anghells is now trying to come back over that high ground there, but all instantly getting attacked by the orbs off the Zenyatta here. So let's see if they can even make it out of there.
Have to see. Watch out for that amplification matrix. Donghoon is now eliminated. It's only going to be Apples healing in this lineup, but I don't think that the defenders really want to push their luck. It's going to be a reset here from the defense, but you know, it's a tenuous one. Look at the ultimates online for AHJA.
Absolutely, and they've done, like, Laya, I gotta point him out here, he's done an absolutely amazing job pulling that Transcendence out there when it was most needed from the ball punch there. So that was a wonderful play, and they still got 4 ultimates to go, got the visor now. So let's see if Anghells is even able to touch it with the ball, as he will get taken down immediately.
So much damage, so much focus fire onto Teemo, and that was a beautiful E of Pure Irish onto Jamar's Dragons. The rally is deployed from Donghoon as well. It's going to reward Anghells with a little bit more time to stabilize. Are they going to be able to do it? Watch out, Apples is going to be cornered here. Eventually goes down to Vision, is forced rather to play that Widow line of sight, and GTX is just cleaning up here. Sigma's a tank. He looks more like a DPS. Watch out for the minefield on the objective. There's your tank capacity coming in, breaking up some of those mines, but things are still winnable here for AHJA. It is actually already won.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you that yeah, GTX just stayed alive way too long there on the payload. Has time to fully recover his health by himself, basically. And that's been the winning condition here for them. So basically, Teemo has to go away from the card as he's falling low, and they just give the second point up to AHJA. So we will now see 4 minutes 30, again about the same time bank which Anghells have, but let's see whether they can use that momentum they currently have to finish in a faster time.
Interesting that you mentioned the momentum, though, here, Julian, because the momentum is definitely in favor of AHJA. Really good ult cycles deployed in the interest of winning those first 2 objectives, and invariably here in the third as well. There's Avo's Dragons to shut that down, however. No Amp Matrix to play around for this fight. Possibly means the disengagement that AHJA needs for their next fight.
Absolutely, and having some kind of deja vu here, not gonna lie, because this is exactly the position Anghells have been to. So they lost that first fight into that point, and that was the moment where they got stuck for like 2.5 minutes. So now AHJA has to make sure that they don't end up in the same position here, and that they have to regain, like instantly regain that momentum on that payload.
Absolutely, and remember, you know, both of these teams, they're contending for that second place spot here in the in this qualifier stage, right? So for the Anghells, they really need to hold this third objective, or at least destroy that time bank that AHJA has to work with. It's a nice transcendence from Apples. It's not going to save Donghoon or Teemo, actually, who both go down after it dissipates. Vision picking up 3 this fight. The card is going to continue moving uninhibited.
Absolutely, Vision, the monster here, taking down 4 enemies by himself, and yeah, this cleared the way for AHJA basically. Let's see how Anghells will try the last contested, but they're already getting attacked coming out of the doors basically.
Anghells are losing the resource game. The barrier suffering from Pure Irish. The recall is already out from Pack, as well as the pulse bomb sticks onto Gig, but Gig has the Fortify to bail themselves out. Grabs a Mega as well. It wasn't secured by Pack because they're bolstered with rally armor. J-Mars is still taken out of the fight. Avo is looking to equalize this engagement. Potential last team fight territory here on the defense of Junkertown for the Anghells. They're going to use everything that they've got, but also is AHJA with the rally armor. They are not going to slow down their attack, and look at the healing resources, just a little bit strained here from Anghells trying to stay in this fight. Teemo's absorbing so much damage they weren't even able to deploy the parting gift of the minefield into this potentially losable fight. As Pure Irish goes down, you're going to see the flux come out from GTX, which does take down Apples. No sustain here left on the objective, only a lonely Pack until they're lonely no more. They're joining their friends in spawn.
Yeah, absolutely. And now 1 minute 47 seconds, which make a difference here and will definitely make a difference in the second round of the attacks we're going to face now. And this is do or die for Anghells now, because they've got 1 minute to push that payload as far as they can get it. And if AHJA manages to use that huge time bank they've got for the second round, they'll probably just overtake the point where Anghells leave the card for the first time, and I don't see too many winning conditions for Anghells at the moment.
We mentioned that, part of the win condition was just really good responses to the way that AHJA is playing. But, that requires investments, and we're seeing that that's not netting the reward that the Anghells want. They're losing. The longer a fight goes on, the more liable Anghells are to lose. And, this is round 6. The standings are about as solidified as you could possibly get here in the qualifiers. So you're absolutely right. The Anghells are playing not only into a disadvantageous matchup, but also a really tough situation now in map point.
Absolutely, they got their backs against the wall here. This is what it all comes down to. They need to win Junkertown in order to keep their chances at the playoffs alive. And this is the 1 minute which counts most in this tournament. Let's see what their tech got ready for us.
Easy to say, hard to put in practice, but Teemo really needs to live. Avo, it's fine to lose Avo in that sniper matchup. Really, you just need your tanks to be able to create the space that the remaining DPS and supports can really operate in. Unfortunately, Apples is not going to be operating for another couple of seconds, being sent back to spawn by JMars.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, solid defense, half of the timing already gone for Anghells. It is last fight territory, and that's not in a good way, because it's their attack round, so they need to make some ground on this attack, because otherwise their chances to win this map are going to get very, very slim.
We mentioned earlier that Pack is constantly marked here by AHJA, but so too is Teemo. You saw that that Liar was setting up a volley to connect onto them. The Discord is quick to follow up afterwards, and the lethal damage is ramped up onto Teemo, who is going to be respawning. Their presence in this last fight is going to be felt by Anghells, but they need more. Irish is already under the duress of the Discord, or Teemo goes down once again. Only 33% to Minefield. Is there justification for the Wrecking Ball pick here on the attack, leaning into the comfort of the Wrecking Ball? It might not be viable here, as tanks and supports are all eliminated from the objective. There's no point presence, no sustain here for the Anghells, as they are going to get full held here on first point of Junkertown.
Yeah, this really is a worst case scenario, basically. The ball will get taken down, overtime is going to tick down, and only 72 meters in the bank for Anghells. This is the worst possible outcome they could have had on that attack, because now AHJA has 3 minutes, basically almost 3 minutes, to make one good push happen. Because it will make some meters coming out of spawn, and then we just need one push to get around those two corners, and this is where the card is going to end. And I really don't see too many chances for Anghells to win this. 72
meters and 247. Those are not numbers that you really like. If you're the Anghells, if you're an Anghells fan, that is that's really daunting. And I've talked with other people before about time banks, and sometimes that minute 47 seconds, it's nothing. And it's everything all at once. For AHJA, you can make that same argument. It's nothing for them. Give them 30 seconds in the time bank. Put a little bit of a handicap on them, and they'll still find veritable success. But give them all the time in the world, and they'll have free reign over the pace of the match. I don't see a different outcome here besides AHJA really emerging triumphant here on Junkertown. It's going to take a little bit of a miracle from the Anghells.
Yeah, and see, they're pushing the D.Va there. Well, not anymore though. But the D.Va, as it can't do footsteps, they're pushing it here because it can't sneak, and we're waiting for that close hold, which Anghells is approaching here. So we need to see how that turns out for the attack of AHJA.
Ooh, look at that. The teleporter is gone, and Teemo had taken it, leaving 3 remaining squishies here from the Anghells, just a little bit vulnerable. It's JMars who's going to be first blood of this round, however, and at least for now, the Anghells it will be able to wear down that time bank that AHJA has to work with. Does the close hold continue succeeding?
Yeah, and you see the small winning conditions Anghells has, they just increased by a bit, because now they've got the economy advantage here, as the teleporter is going to be going up there, and that's what we talk about, that advantage of the economy here. They got the shadow right here, and they win another fight. And this could snowball in the worst way possible for AHJA. This could be a defensive snowball.
You see, AHJA's actually already been forced off of that double shield composition. They are totally mirroring that brawl comp, with really the only difference being J-Mars here on the Doomfist. But Doomfist Rush comp, it's so much fun to just break apart the Anghells formation. Nice Mei Walt's not going to totally occlude the amplification matrix deployed by the attackers, and already a couple of assists off of it as well. The matrix from the Anghells just doesn't get the value they needed from it.
Yeah, and now though, with the close hold, Anghells might actually have a chance for another fight here, because there have been no meters made for AHJA since they've been close holders for the first 2 fights. So this is definitely a chance for a second fight here for Anghells. But look, Jamal's already setting up. They're trying to do a close hold. May spotted that though. Takes down Jamal. This is what they need. This is what Anghells need now. This is the chance to get back into this fight. Gig has to do the defensive. He has to make some meters back into the side of them. But yes, yeah, Wolf coming down in Teemo. Quite aggressive defense is doing there.
You know, honestly, I look at the Photon Barrier, I think it's just a little bit untimely. It's a defensive resource you might have wanted for the next fight, but at least in terms of defensive ultimates, you've got Donghoon's Sound Barrier. That has to be impeccably cast here in this next fight. There's still 40 seconds here remaining in the time bank for AHJA, and they have their own offensive and defensive utilities. There's the Photon Barrier, the Ant Matrix coming up. Pack looking for the freeze onto Gig. Is there lethal damage to follow up? No, because the health pool of Gig is padded by those short-lived shields. As those do dissipate, Gig is sent back to spawn, and Anghells are actually doing it. They're holding right now.
Yeah, and this is I can't believe it either. They have a fair chance of winning this. Teemo, Apple's got their ults ready, and on the other side, it's only the Doomfist basically in the shatter. It could be a good combination though, but Anghells, they've got winning conditions.
Yeah, Matrix is placed in a defensive position. Apple's going to be able to keep Teemo up, possibly for long enough to get that shatter and find meaningful follow-up. But Gig is marking Teemo. They know that they have the Earth Shatter. They know that that's a potential win condition. There's GTX getting Apples out of the fight. The sustain is gone here, and the shatter is attempted by Gig, but it doesn't connect to anything. Meaningful freezes here on the side of the defense, as well as you see J-Mars on the ropes and now in spawn. Vision on the back angle, trying to find some significant damage, but can't connect anything. Now it's only 2 remaining on the objective. It's only 1 here now for AHJA, and we've seen it. The Junkertown full hold from the Anghells, which equalizes this series.
I can't believe what I'm witnessing here. Anghells, they make the impossible happen. They full hold AHJA against all odds, and they tie up the series. Unbelievable.
Really, I mean, we mentioned that they've got to take some agency in these fights. They got to set the terms of engagement themselves, and I think that that's exactly what they did. You look at compositions to enable you to do that, or strategies to make things like that happen, and I mean that was it. The close hold on Junkertown with a brawl style composition. You know, you don't see him on Junkertown much, but I won't ever complain about a Reinhardt being run there.
So I can't find the right words to this. I can't believe they actually pulled that off. They pulled off 70 meters in almost 3 minutes. They did the impossible. They had the ultimate strat for it. That early hold gave them so much time and such a great economy for the ultimates that they were able to pull this off. And now they've got a fair chance. They're back in this game. I can't find the right words for this.
Absolutely insane. And you know, it's the control point game mode that we saw AHJA really thrive so well in. It's so different from Escort and Hybrid. Those map types foster a little bit more team-oriented play styles, and I think that that's absolutely what the Anghells have opted into, not only in their choice of Junkertown to, you know, see if they can get away with that double shield, double sniper composition, but also that they really utilize to their advantage, understanding that, you know what, if we need to full hold the first point, that spawn with a brawl-based comp, we can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to think about what that is doing to the mentality of Anghells now. Against all odds, against all the times, against anything that stood against them, they hold that. And they're back in the series. And the momentum which they bring into this next map is enormous. The mentality they've got now, it won't get better than that. No chance. And AHJA have to make sure that they don't give this out of hand now. After Lijiang, this seemed like a close deal. It seemed like everything's tied up and ready to go. But now Anghells, they 110% back in this.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was so hungry today. I'll be eating my words, Julian, snacking on the fact that I anticipated AHJA making a quick sweep of those same 72 meters. But we will be heading into map 3. It is that hybrid game mode, and maybe we get to see some King's Roll, more of that brawl rush style composition in action. But at this point, I won't complain. If there's anything I love more than seeing good, clean Overwatch, it's some really healthy competition, and this is arguably one of the most competitive matchups we've seen all day.
Absolutely, it's a banger match and it promised to be one as we're going into the third map. King's Row, you asked for it, you'll get it. And yeah, interesting map choice though, because I know that Anghells played King's Row last map against GeForce. And so they've got practice on this map and they know their limits and they know they know how to balance them. And I think that this, like, if anyone would have pre-written that script, it's the ultimate story. It can't get better than this. It's 1-1, it's do or die, and it's King's Row. You can't ask for more in this major qualifier, and I'm so much looking forward to King's Row.
I'm so excited to see these two Titans really take this head-to-head matchup. Finally, some license has been attained, some momentum that we've talked so much about, Julian, by Anghells. They have it in the palm of their hands. Victory so close they can almost taste it. That number 2 spot that they're gunning for to make it into the semis and possibly the finals afterwards, as well as recuperating from their loss on King's Row against oh goodness, what is the team? Against GeForce. Right? Who are just absolutely unstoppable. Now they have the chance to really test their mettle, and in competitive, organized Overwatch, these games, these series that these teams have played several consecutive of, they're long and hard. It's a test of endurance as well as just a test of individual gameplay and skill.
Absolutely, and you know what's the worst thing for Anghells? They have to play one more match after this.
Yeah.
They'll be here longer than I will. And I've been around for some time now, right? But Anghells, they've got the ultimate destiny here. So they have this do or die. And if they take this home, they'll need to win the next match as well. Because this is last match for AHJA. So if Anghells take this, they've got it all in the hand. They win next map, they're done. They lose it, they're out. So it's all up to them now. And King's Row is going to be the pre-decider for them. It will determine the destination, and Anghells are going to start us off on the attack.
Well, you mentioned, what winning Junkertown has to do to the morale behind the scenes for the Anghells, how that has to amplify their communications and bolster their confidence just a little bit. Maybe taking a few lessons from Gig with their confidence. And if they manage to win this matchup, imagine the confidence boost that is heading into their last match for the day.
Absolutely, and let's see what Anghells got ready for us. They're going with the Widowmaker and the Doomfist here. Widowmaker might have some fairly good chances here to get an early pick, maybe. And as we see him looking for the targets, right, and it takes down Vision. That's what they need. This could be the first attack round, and now instantly switches to the Cassidy. This is the momentum they need. They're going right into it. They take down the Symmetric Turrets, and now they need to push the point fast.
Yep, it's going to be an all-out brawl here on the objective. You might see a tick yielded here by AHJA, wanting to temper their approach and make sure that their engagement is really calculated. They do yield a little bit of objective progress, but hey, lose the battle, win the war, right? That's the name of the game here for AHJA, but they might lose Gig as well. They lose the Immortality Field, definitely. Teemo goes down as well. Now the main tank is Pack, looking for final blows, but can't connect onto anyone other than Vision. Poor Vision, let him play the game. And now it's just AHJA retaking control of this objective and ready to set the pace for the next defense.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a good trade for Anghells. They've taken down 2 ticks already, and they're just pushing Gig back here. He's got the amplification mechanism now, so Teemo needs to take some cover behind the shield. Got the immortality there, but yeah, Gig still falling out. Attempts to shatter here, gets it down. Teemo taken down, and this is another one fight for AHJA, I say, because I don't see Anghells returning from that fight.
I mean, it is mind-boggling to imagine the amount of amplification matrix assists Rupal has incurred just over the duration of this series, much less the entire day as a whole. I mean, just the VODs for the Baptiste gameplay, I'm sure, are absolutely thrilling.
Absolutely. And now Anghells, they've got the McCree or the Cassidy all ready to go. They're trying to approach over the high ground. He will probably rotate around the point a bit and drop right on there. Yeah, actually going up the high ground, trying to take some positioning advantage away from AHJA here as they are still down on the low ground. And now they're forcing them back a bit here. Fast rotation with the Cassidy classic move there as they have to hide and hold. This gives them the space they need. And now they've got 94%.
Yeah, so close to the finish line, at least here for the first point. Got to outplay the wall here. Isolates a couple of members of the Anghells, but there's still more resources here for both sides. Jmar's ready and aiming with the Blizzard, just looking for the opportunity to strike, and the defensive sound barrier is going to be in use as well. It's going to be starting with the Amp Matrix, the Photon Barrier, and the sound barrier from both sides here. It's the Shatter from Gig to end it all, however, in this push for the Anghells. Looking to bring it back, however. Pack with a Meteor Strike. Can they connect onto more than just a few targets? It's not about getting picks, it's about getting the right ones. And AHJA, it manages to slip away.
Yeah, but at least they got to force out the Diva Bomb from GTX there. So they might have another chance for a fast approach here, as AHJA is not completed yet, but Wall comes in again and splits the team.
Yeah, you've got an Amp Matrix that is totally unusable here on the side of Anghells. Apple's going to have to work to build that one up here in the next minute or so. Losing Pack means that's one of your engagement tools lost, and as well, Pure Irish getting demeched is a death sentence here for now.
Yeah, and it's just back and forth for Anghells. They've got the momentum, they lose the momentum. Now Diva also getting stacked there, which will bring them down to 2 final fights here to take this first point. They only need that one tick though, but it's going to be a hard one.
And look at Jmars is still able to hold on to this Blizzard as well. Donghoon expended the sound barrier in the previous fight, so now it's all eyes on Apples to place a smart immortality field. Maybe not a smart pin there from Teemo, but they gotta make a play in the face of adversity. They're a gamer. They have to rise, and rise they will not, or at least not on the point. They'll be rising from spawn.
Yeah. Now, last fight territory, AVO getting a late kill there, so this will maybe not even give them a full team to approach this. And look at their ultimate, they've got nothing to work with the dry, and so now it is going to be a super hard attack. Let's see who touches the point and how they will do that, as we see the window here actually getting played, but the wall, such a good play. Is anyone even able to touch? I don't think so.
Oh.
And it's going to be round 1 completed. 94% is all Anghells got out of this attack, and we thought that Junker Town was a difficult task. This is the real challenge for them. Let's see how they can pull this off.
They mustered it on Junkertown. It's all in their hands. It's their destiny. It's their team. It's their matchup to win for the Anghells. So in terms of kind of what we expected from both these teams. Well, they know that AHJA wants to play hyper-aggressive. They know that AHJA, as well, is perfectly willing to bide their time, be patient, and make sure that any commitments they make are commitments that they will get payoffs from. For the Anghells, you have to see it mirrored, which is really unfortunate, where on any other map, in any other series, you might be able to lean into a different composition, a different strategy. Here, it's mirror compositions and it has to be mirrored playstyle as well. These teams, these players, they all have to perceive the game the exact same way.
Absolutely, and this, you can't make one wrong step here if you're Anghells in the defense. Yeah. One wrong decision will cost you the series, will cost you the chances for the playoffs. And this, yeah, I've said it before, but this is do or die. And let's see what they bring up here. They've got the sneaky TP to be able to reposition as fast as possible, but let's face it, 4 minutes, it's one good push for AHJA if they're doing it right. So let's see what they bring out on this attack.
We've seen a lot from Vision today, and as well a lot of their Symmetra, an absolute beast in the front lines. There's a teleport onto the high ground, quick engagement here onto the objective, and the freeze is going to find Teemo. No lethal damage to follow up. The immortality field was deployed by Anghells, and in the interest of keeping their main tank alive, Gig will go down, traded out for the enemy Reinhardt. The defense is suffering now here, however. Pack is gone, and now it's not even Avo remaining here to do damage on the objective. There's the aggro support gameplay that we really wanted to see from the Anghells that we won't be able to see. Apples going down, and Donghoon as well has the need for feed there just to see if they can swing something out. The point is so close to getting captured. Do we see a touch here from Teemo? No! They go down, and that's it.
Yeah, it's all silence all of a sudden. And Anghells, they've given us all they had. Not gonna lie, all they had. They've grown above themselves. They've evolved through the series, you could even say. And it has been a hell of a show from them. Unfortunately, though, AHJA takes it in the end. The collegiate mix, Red Bulls Light, whatever you want to call them, they take down Anghells. They take down another EU Titan in this tournament. And they'll probably secure their spot on the second place here in this tournament. And they'll move on into the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know, we had mentioned that the Anghells kind of have to recuperate from their loss against G-Force, but you know, as well, that's a narrative for AHJA. That's the only team that they've lost against, and now with this victory, they'll have the opportunity, invariably, to play them again. What a fantastic series this was! I'm so glad that it went to 3 maps. I do feel a little bit bad for Hot Dog and Septilence. They would have loved to see that 3rd map.
Absolutely, and let's face it, highest respect to Anghells. They've given this more than anyone could have expected from them. They've been playing on latency. They had unfortunate conditions for this matchup, but yet still they have given this all they had, and I'm super proud of them. They've made an unbelievable performance on this broadcast here, on this map against this really strong opponent who's got loaded talent all over the place. I'm really looking forward to seeing AHJA and G-Force off Group D. They'll move on into the playoffs, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. However, though, as said before, deep full highest respect for Anghells, and as well for Mind Goblin, Delete Friend. All the EU teams have tried to come up against these NA challenges, but somehow all have failed. Unfortunately, NA strikes again. But yeah, definitely unbelievable series. Great Overwatch we've witnessed here.
Yeah, GG's to all of our teams and all of our contenders. And, you know, I think the cool thing is, as well, Julian, that we'll have one more matchup that we get to see, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what the matchup is going to be. However, I know person to do. And that's why I'm going to throw it right back to the desk. Ageless, Newbie, and I take it over.